So
Makes sense.
no one. It's funny because no one like know any information. And my grandfather, he passed in '83 before I was born. But my grandmother, my mother, her, no one has any information in regards to this man and his family. But it's a lot of us drink waters in Chicago, and I just don't understand that. So when I
Okay, now
started,
let me tell you our culture. This may help you understand it. Some of the men in the era had more than one wife.
mhm,
And when the invaders came, if they knew us because we would have more than one wife, and they'd murder us, which made the women then tell him, "You gonna either stay the fuck over there, or you just gonna stay over here. You not gonna be jumping back and forth." So he might have had multiple households that all of them got the same last name, and they might not none of them know each other,
wow, that's interesting.
right? But it was done. It used before the invaders came. Everybody would have knew. It wouldn't have been no secrets. But they was using that as the means to murder us. So the women became protective and made the man have to choose to be with only one part of his family.
Mm, that makes sense. They had 9 children together, but supposedly my mother in specific, is not his. Which I honestly, in my heart, I feel some truth to that, and that's what I was saying when I was asking you a question about if I'm real. I didn't get a chance to finish typing because I'm like my grandmother, and I've been very peaceful, and I know that I get that probably from over there, and so it's important for me
The
to
most
have that
important
book.
thing for you after what you went through, the most important thing that you know is the why did they put that in our culture? They wanted to traumatize you as early as possible, as severe as possible, because 9 out of 10 you have the blood right to claim a position of prominence in our community, and they wanted to tarnish you mentally, to scar your mind. So they abused the body in order to dement the mind, to keep you from ever wanting to know who you was.
Mhm.
Because the follow up to what they physically do in the processor rate is the shaming campaign that follows, which
Mm.
makes women not ever.
Some don't want me.
So they go through life trying to hold it in until it explodes,
Mm.
right? This, as long as you holding that in, you can never attain your highest height because that type of trauma keeps you always on the defense and always in a fear mode.
And like all my grandmother, her sisters, her sisters and her brothers, they know, but no one will ever open up their mouth to say yay or nay if my grandfather, as I know, is my mother's father. But I feel entitled to my name. I feel entitled to my name. My baby son, I had to name him after me instead of all of the other children is my husband, but I had to name my baby son a drink water purposely because he's the last one.
Okay, stop. What you telling me is something that's common in our culture.
Oh.
Whether that guy was your mother's biological father or not,
Mhm.
there's a strong love bond.
Mhm.
The love bond is stronger than the blood bond.
Okay.
And your mother is the one telling you to name your son. Is she still here?
Yeah, but she didn't want me to have him.
So is her mother still here?
No.
That's who it is. She driving that car. She's the one telling you to name him that. She's saying that your grandfather was a good ass man no matter what the fuck he did. He
Okay.
took care of his business and his family. So she creates in you from the mother line, she's able to tell you because you are oracle, right? You just haven't been accepting of your own gifts.
Mhm.
You kind of run from them a little bit.
Mhm. I'm
But
working
she can
on it.
communicate with you strong. And she's the one who was putting it on your heart to name your son that after him. That's a love bond and a love relationship that's stronger than any blood relationship.
My grandmother was a hard ass vice lord though. She ain't play. She was straight. My
She
most
probably was
my
one of
essence,
she probably was one of my mama friends.
and you know my family still carry it. We're from
Look,
34th and Cicero, Leclerc Court.
yeah, my mom and them used to be all through there. My father used to run on 43rd in Prairie and Calumet.
That's
My
crazy.
uncle used my uncle had a gambling joint on 43rd in Calumet in the basement.
That's crazy. And then my daddy is Summerall, so they from down there too. But I haven't even stepped into them Summeralls over there. But my daddy is a Summerall, so it's like everyone in Leclerc Court, I am related to in some form of way. Some form of a way.
Yeah.
Everybody is my cousin. But thank you. You gave me something. That Oracle situation, I really am working on that because I don't know how to get around it to like open up to it.
Okay, so look, you got to determine what training wheels you need. The training wheel you'll be drawn to by the energy that connects you to your family line. It's going to either be tarot cards or crystal ball or the rune stones, or it could be the I Ching. Just look into it. Don't make your mind up about nothing. Just look into them,
Mhm.
and then you'll get a feeling, and you'll know. I need a crystal ball, or I need a mirror, scrying mirror. You know, you'll just know, and that's when you'll start the training to tune in to the inner voice.
Okay. Thank you.
And you do you got a picture of your granny?
I can get one. I don't have one. I can get one. Yeah. Yes, I do have one.
Because if you make an ancestral altar, put two white candles, one on each side of the picture,
Mhm.
right? And you can honor her with water. But if you know what she like if you know she says she die her vice lord, she might want to smoke Newports
She
and
want a
drink motherfucking
Budweiser.
Hennessy.
She want a
Right.
Budweiser and some
So
damn
when
French
you
fries.
honor her, you give her what made her happy.
Okay.
Don't nobody else gotta agree with it. Don't nobody else gotta understand it. But it's called creating a sympathetic link.
Okay.
Right. So then it'll start getting where you'll be comfortable feeling her energy to the point when you'll know she when she there. It'll almost be like you come in to greet her with a beer and you can hear her saying, "Hey baby, brought my beer. Come
And
on in here and
that's
grab
how
my."
I think I do with my cousin, but I'm in the
Right.
world also.
So when you listening, when you dealing with the author, listen for her voice. And all of the chatter that go on in this box, say just cut it all off. Say, go on, I just want to hear grandma.
Mhm.
Right? And she'll push her way through the crowd to the front.
And I think that's what my auntie do in my dreams. My auntie Jackie, she does that in my dreams. I dream about her a lot, but I seem to think or hear my cousin Demetrius more. But I know that my grandmother is in here and she is driving me.
She could be the one trying to tell you to bump them straight. Look, but they are cold. They masters of trying to make people do what's right.
Mhm.
right? We just got invaded from a mirror dimension where they elders only wanted to do what's wrong. But in
Mm.
their dimension, everything wrong to us is right to them.
Everything is opposite.
Yep. Upside down and backwards. So your granny will send you who you need to correct or who you need to work with in order to heal the family line,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
So granny orchestrating it. She y'all big mama. She was the matriarch. So when she go on the other side, she gonna orchestrate it into the matriarch that's got the most links in the physical world cross over again. And then they gonna work together.
I don't know. I don't
Right.
understand that part, but I'll figure it out. I'm gonna ponder
It's
upon it.
like a baton race, relay race with the baton,
Mhm.
right? When the matriarch that just crossed over go over, they give her the baton. Okay, you run this race now. And you communicate with them motherfuckers down there because you the one was down there with them,
Mhm.
right? Because it's going to be a whole new generations that rise up. That the one that's on the other side, they didn't work with the energy before, but from that side, but now when the new matriarch cross over, she have to work with that energy because she know everybody intimately and up close personal in both physical and spiritual.
And she understands
Where
my
the other,
language. She
right, where
understands my
the other
language.
one, yeah,
I speak
where,
to her and sing to her, and she understands what I'm. I know who you're talking about.
hmm
That's the right
so
language.
that's how they operate. It's a relay race. It's the same here. We the elders now. There was a time when we was the children and we was the promise for the future. But there was only one promise for the future, and that was for redemption for all the dirt we didn't was suffered through the past.
Mhm.
So now we came back to recover, redeem, and restore everything that they tore down.
And
As Pac say, we back for everything they owe.
yeah, this investigation book, just like you said. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You welcome.
My heart is beating fast. So thank you. I appreciate you, Grand Wizard.
Okay, sweetie. You be in touch. I'll see you soon.
Okay, thank you. Good
All
night.
right. Yeah. Okay. Look and see if I got a question before I cut out. You don't need permission to take your child out of school as long as you disassociate from this whole system. Watch the animals. When the animals disappear from any area, it's time to get the fuck low. If the animals run the high ground, that's where you need to go. If the animals run to the low ground, that's where you need to go. If they run to the high ground, most likely it's water coming. If they run to the low ground, most likely it's weather, wind related coming, right? And just pay attention to the animals from wherever you at, and you should know what to do from there. I'm gonna take one more call, y'all. Or maybe I'm not. Yeah. All right, so that's a wrap on this one. Be ye warned, don't fuck with them chosen ones. You know, this is one of the few things that y'all need to get. Them certain ones, y'all don't need to be messing with them. Jackie Wilson, baby, y'all need to leave that girl alone. Let her go about her business. Cause y'all mess around trying to put conjure spells on her and that shit come back 10,000 times fold. Don't say you wasn't warned. Leave that girl alone. That Blue Rose Tarot, Blue Rose, don't be over there fucking with that woman, heckling her on her shit. She minding her business, trying to do what's right, following spirit. The guy gonna whoop y'all ass, and the guy gonna come from within you. It ain't gonna come from outside you. But y'all can't be fucking with them chosen ones. No, that shit over with. And we not even like our ancestors, our elders. Because we not kissing y'all ass this time. We kicking it. And that's the way it is. So let y'all be warned. Before y'all start fucking with the ones that's trying to do us right, you either should help them or get the fuck out the way. Don't try to interfere with them doing what's obviously the right thing to do. Right? So with that, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank y'all for coming over. Hope I was able to be of some good service and assistance to y'all. And I'm off and running to the next day.
I went to Tuskegee Institute back then. It's Tuskegee University now, and we had professors that was putting people on game back then.
Mm-hmm.
So we right now, what's happening now is everything's come full circle.
Yep.
Yeah,
It all got to, all the bullshit got to come to an end now.
that's it. It's celebration time now. We done
Yep.
did the hard work.
The heavy lifting, as they say.
Been called crazy. Then been put out the family and said, "Oh, he don't know what he talking about." Now they
I
all
tell a
running to you for
motherfucker in a
question
heartbeat.
now.
I tell a motherfucker in a heartbeat, I'm the heat. The rest of them Christians.
That's
I'm the
it.
one that'll go out in the woods with a goddamn cloak on and make a whole motherfucking turnaround to a situation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's it. That's me. All day long. Yes,
But
sir.
first, I gotta try to do it on its own merit before I use any of that shit.
That's true. That's true. I do have one question for you, though, Rod. Before I
Hmm.
get off here, um, in the area where I'm from, there's a tribe, a local tribe, and I volunteer with them, and we hand out food and everything once a month. And they've been trying to get me to link up with them and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I'm with the nation. You know what I'm saying? But I just ain't with the politics of it. But do you think that's a wise move to join in like that?
You feel your way through that one, player.
Hmm.
You got to
Yeah.
know the people you dealing with, and know that you tied to the land, and you know their ears too.
Right. Right.
They don't necessarily got to look like us to be on the frequency,
Hmm.
but
Right.
their behavior pattern is a pattern that we call righteousness.
Right.
That's their default behavior pattern,
Right.
right? So that's why they talk about in all them books the ways of the righteous, they talking about the shit that we gonna automatically do anyway, just because it's the right thing to do.
There you go.
We
And
don't
see
need
really
no
how. Go ahead.
we don't need no excuse.
That is.
Speak. You see if a man be mischaracterized, and you see the mischaracterization, speak the fuck up.
That's it. That's
You
it.
don't, you don't know your voice contributed with the voice of everybody else speaking the fuck up and make a difference.
That is. And kind of, I'm like this. I always been the type. If I'm gonna test to see how deep the water is, I ain't gonna put both feet in there. But by working and doing volunteer work with them, I had a chance to kind of see the ins and outs and how people are and how they do things and everything like that. So I'm feeling my way through it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you got to ask yourself certain key questions. How
Hmm.
did you get there? What brought you there? And why are you there now?
Hmm. Yeah.
Look at the energy you riding in your life when you ask the
Hmm.
question. Then know where the energy from the land is guiding your steps.
Hmm.
You ride the
Yeah.
energy. You ride the energy frequency of what they call a prelayed pattern. According to the turns you make, the pattern unfolds itself. And when you run into a bad spot, that's where the door stops. Boom. And then you monkey flip until you can see your way clear.
There you go. I got you. 100%, my brother. And just let you know, I'm just thankful, man, that source has brought you in here at this place and time. You know what I'm saying, to reveal the information that we needed and to unify the people on right knowledge about who they are, not what people have told us. Because I'm from the older generation, and most of my friends they stuck in that old way of thinking. But this is the time that we in. I tell them a lot of times. I say, man, y'all can stay there if you want to, but you don't either have to get right or get left.
And all this shit can be read about in the prophecies of Edgar Casey, Nostradamus, the
Hmm.
blind Baba from Russia, the blind sheikh. All of these motherfuckers prophesied the same shit at this particular time. They gave the great teacher will arrive somewhere around the year 2019, and he will begin to teach nations.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Right?
sir.
They all prophesied the same thing. They just told it from a different way.
From a different perspective.
Hmm.
And that's what we got to understand. Too many people think that their opinion of something is what it is. And it ain't about opinions, it's about truth.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There's many ways to get to the truth. But the truth ain't but one thing. What it is,
Well,
what it is.
you know the story of the world just lie.
Yes, sir.
So truth just running around with the lie just running around with truth clothes on. But I just stripped that motherfucker bare down to the butt naked truth.
Butt naked. That's what we call it.
Hmm. So
All
now
right, my
you,
brother.
yeah,
I just gonna tell you, man. I'm gonna drop down, and let somebody else get in, man. I just wanted to holler at you, acknowledge you, and let you know, man. I'm
appreciate
on
it.
the same page with you. I'm riding with you, brother, all the way to the bottom, to the top.
Yep, to the wheels fall off this motherfucker.
Yes, sir.
All right, peace, God. Media has become the universal method of communicating around the world. We can get on Facebook and Instagram and do a video that reach people in China, Japan, and in Europe,
Hmm.
right? Where years ago we didn't have the option when Malcolm X was around and um, Dubois and Medgar Evers. They didn't have the option to have the internet and to stay in the safety of their home while they tell the people what's really going on.
Right, they couldn't.
The ones who used to try to figure the problem out instead of going out in the streets marching, I ain't finna do that. Not for my own shit. I'm not finna be out here buck dancing for these people. Not for my own shit. And mama had to leave me a means to find what's rightfully ours and how to recover it. And one of the things she kept saying to me was always look for the wisdom, right? And so understanding that, I searched through the minds of great thinkers in order to find out what is this stuff they call wisdom. Because if I can't buy it in a bottle, I gotta find it somewhere. I'm thinking this as a child. So if I can't find it in a bottle, where am I find it at? Right? So the discovery comes in is you find the wisdom at the feet of the masters, right? The first master is mama. So starting from mama, who says the stuff that gives you the best result when applied to life? And this, as a child, made me pay attention to the elder women.
Mm.
And the elder women was the ones, especially the ones that talk harsh and use profanity. We call them big mamas. They harvest the energy of prime creator in order to be guides to the family. Under the patriarchal system, we've been taught to call them old bitches and don't pay them no attention. And they telling us the solution to all of the world's problems, but we ain't listening as a collective. Some of us do. Some of us know if mama say don't go down that street, something bad gonna happen, go the other way. Because if you go down that street, you're gonna walk right into the BS. I did it 1,000 times because I learned the hard way every time. And the hard lesson is the lesson that you're gonna learn and gonna internalize the deepest. Because it's gonna hurt the most that you keep going through the same foolishness. But when you wise up, that's gonna become entrenched in you as your biggest lessons, the ones that was hardest to learn. And the hardest lesson to learn was at the feet of the masters is to follow the voice of the women who give wise guidance. And you can tell the difference by the character of the women, right? So when I see you on here complain about them calling Noble Drew Ali a false prophet, some in my soul say you can't just let that go. You got to say something.
Mm.
So I said something.
You
A
did.
lot of the Moors is like, what is this thing? Where did he come from? I thought he hated all the Moors. I keep telling them over and over, I'm not anti-Moor, I'm anti-dirty Moor. So, and so I started studying great people because I didn't really know what a master was. But the great people's information, they give references to other great people who turns out to be masters, right? And in our community, each one teach one, we all got to reach some. And if we reach enough, we can spread the information. Now, the land, the Mississippian rule, this is deep culture, organic North America. Any culture that comes on the land, we have to have a significant influence on it through the arts and the entertainment so we can use these things in the time of crisis to communicate the recovery from the oppression or whatever adverse force overtakes us on the land. Now we have to time the solution in order to correctly end the problem. So, in the course of the studies, when you run across Marcus Garvey, Noble Drew Ali, Prince Hall, David Walker, Booker T. Washington, W.E.B. Du Bois, you don't look at them in their conflicts, you look at them in their agreements, right? So they
Mhm.
tell us that Du Bois and Garvey don't get along because Garvey is what you call a totalitarian recovery expert. In other words, he come to recover the whole of the original structures from its original source out of the Blue Lodge, where Du Bois comes from a different angle or perspective of view. He said that only a 10%, what we call the talented tenth, will ever do anything of significance to rise to positions of prominence in any society. Therefore, we should focus on isolating that talented tenth and maximizing the input in the bank, right? Now we go from the talented tenth to um, a 5%er, right? Because all of the talented tenth is not working in the interest of the collective. Most of them is working in their own self interest. We don't care about that. You can work in your self interest, but you have to leave an indelible impression that can be read by future generations to leave a blueprint or a pattern to put the puzzle pieces together on how to recover from the condition, right? So the 5%ers teach that 85% of the people blind, deaf, and dumb and don't know what's going on. And 10% of the people know what's going on and they're not doing nothing about it. But there's 5% of the people that know what's going on that's working to raise the other 85% to awareness to overcome the tyranny of the 1% who was extracted from the 10%. So the 1%ers is what they call the people that's ruling the world as elites. Has a system at play, and if we figure out their system, we can reverse engineer the society in order to find out how to get back to our rights and our ability to reclaim the land based on our birthright to the land at the close of the age. Most of us don't know that it's a universal law that we are obligated by universal law, the organics of the world, at the close of every age, no matter what's going on, to shut it all down. Anything that is destructive to the ends of the collective is dispensed with, And anything found to be a benefit is used as a bridge to the next coming age. So now we leave in the age of Pisces, the water age of believing, to the air age of Aquarius. But remember, the Aquarian man carries a pitcher of water that's being spilled. Water is the symbol for spirit. So what it's telling you is we going from spiritually believing stuff with no information to support why we believe it to the mental aspect of spiritually knowing exactly what we see in the Aquarian age. So earlier I was saying about we had to be able to see the signs significantly